welcome to my book launch party for the Black Foster Youth Handbook. My name is Angela Kiana Banks, and I'm the author of the Black Foster Youth Handbook. And this is the amazing launch party that I've been talking about for about a week now, and I'm just so excited that you're here. So if you are here, if you're watching this, then please drop in the comments where you are watching from and what are you excited about? What are you excited to see? We have some very incredible and amazing people that will also be popping up and popping in out throughout this event. And without further ado, get your drink. I got my tea. Okay, sip my tea. And you know what? Get your drink, get your pillow, get your blanket, maybe even get your book. Okay, get your copy. Because this launch event and this launch party is going to be amazing. And I'm so excited that you're here. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so without further ado, be sure to hit that share button in order to be entered into this Friday's raffle. That is October 2nd, 2020. You will have a chance to win a signed copy as well as other prizes. So don't miss out and hit that share button. All right, let's go ahead and kick it off with what is the Black Foster Youth Handbook?
What if the only way to move forward is to first take a look back? Foster care has always been a conflicted area, a constant battle between the well-being of young people and bank balance. Angela outlines these two narratives with an explorative yet emotional approach. Angela believes that the best way forward for foster children in the system is through a happy, healthy, and holistic path. She opens a window into her world with heartfelt honesty and integrity, whilst also maintaining an empirical basis by including official data and statistics. This intention of this book is not to only reflect the system, but the reader too, in a series of mirroring moments. Each chapter encourages the reader to trust in the direction they have been set upon with a series of informative anecdotes and supporting evidence. This book is deeply informative with a balance of shocking statistics and personal accounts. Advocating healing of indoctrinated narratives and focusing on the turning point, Angela is a beacon of hope for the establishment and beyond. Although regarding a difficult situation with an evaluative and encompassing approach, the overtones of Angela writing is one that, with the utmost respect, distinguishes elements of progression and hope for the future. It looks back at history with love and adoration, taking on board the lessons that will stand with us today and make communities stronger. The Black Foster Youth Handbook available on Amazon and our official website. Order now.
Okay. Hey, so what really is the Black Foster Youth Handbook? The Black Foster Youth Handbook is 50 plus lessons that I learned to successfully age out of foster care and holistically heal. Because I didn't successfully age out of foster care. In fact, I was kicked out. I was given a 7-day notice, and I really wasn't checked on after that. Nobody followed back up with me. It was just kind of like, cool, like deuces, you do your own thing. We just need your address so that way we can close your case. And sadly, this is not, like, my case and my story is not by itself. It's not like the only one of its kind. There's so many, and as I've traveled across the nation, I've learned there's hundreds of thousands of stories just similar to mine, or even worse. And young people don't have the resources. Young people don't know of the resources. They don't have a support. They don't know how to navigate social capital. They don't know, independent living skills or interdependent living skills, And it's a lot. It's a lot, especially if we think about just the state of the world at this time in 2020, where there's a whole pandemic going on. several pandemics, right? There's a racial pandemic, there's a health pandemic, there's so many pandemics going on simultaneously. And I just want to, at this time, take a moment for our sister, Breonna Taylor, and the injustice that she has been experiencing even after she has passed. So I just want to take a moment. If you all can drop the praying hands, and I'm just going to take a moment here. You can close your eyes, you can say a prayer. But I just want to honor this space for her and Ahmaud Arbery and all the other fallen social justice warriors, young people that are just minding their own damn business, older people that were just minding their own damn business and being brown and being black. And so let's just take a moment and give them peace of our silence. Whew. The struggle is real, okay? But that's part of the reason that I wrote the Black Foster Youth Handbook, is because our narrative is not greater than anyone else's or anything like that, but it is different. And my experiences of a young woman of color, and, you know, any way that I chop it up or try to, you know, make it a certain way, it's going to come out that way. That's the experience that I have and that I've lived. And so it's, you know, 50 plus lessons that I learned to successfully age out of foster care and holistically heal. Just looking at the statistics of how many young people age out into homelessness, age out into poverty, age out into severe mental health issues, age out into paralyzing trauma each and every day, age out alone without any support at all. I recognize that, and I realize that we need something, a guide of some kind, for young people in foster care to really take their life on and be in control of their life and not allow the trauma of their past to take them over. And you know, I remember those feelings. I remember how hurt, the pain. I remember being crippled by the pain. I remember it. And through that remembrance, although I'm in another state of mind, another place mentally, spiritually, physically, I remember, and I knew that I needed to give back to these communities, the communities that I was a part of and will never forget. And so one of these communities is a foster care community. And so here we are with the Black Foster Youth Handbook, and, you know, just really recognizing how you, as a young person or as a supportive adult, can support young people into helping them, and yourself maybe even, realize that you can turn your pain into purpose and power. And there is a reason why you went through what you went through. And it's not just because, you know, you're strong enough to take it. It's so that you can go back and heal that population. It's so that there can be a change in those circumstances. And yes, it's hard, and yes, it's painful. This was so painful to go through, and I'm still getting flashbacks every day of just memories of my life before what it has been now and what it will be. But I'd do it again. I'd absolutely do it again. So we're going to hear from someone now, and an incredible young woman. Her name is Laquita Howell, and I just absolutely adore her. And she has a poem that she has written. So we're going to hear from her, and we're going to keep it going. Keep hitting that share button, and so that way you can be included in this Friday's raffle, October 2nd, 2020. And without further ado, Ms. Laquita, take it away.
Hello, it's Laquita with Opportunities Knocking TLP. And I'm going to share my poem, Strong People Never Cry. Strong people never cry. They are strong on the outside and keep their weakness buried deep inside. They wear smiles on their faces and never seem to frown. Because strong people never cry. They seem impossible to break down, but always feel as if they're failing on the inside. They appear to be keeping going and going and going, while always picking themselves back up. They have everlasting strength in everyone else's eyes, but not in their own. Because strong people never cry. They feel bonded by their weaknesses, but everyone else is blinded by their achievements. They wear masks to hide their faces and their feelings because strong people never cry. We always think we know who they are when we don't know who they truly are. But strong people never cry. They're lights of glory in their communities and pillars of hopes for their families. And strong people never cry. Ashamed of flowing tears of shining lights what others can see. Because strong people never cry. They're tough, tough as tough can get. They're tough so riding out as shining black nights in the middle of the night. Because strong people never cry. But strong people always cry in the middle of the night. Why do strong people always cry in the middle of the night?
Whew. Laquita, that was a word. Let me tell you, like, I've had so many situations where I have felt so alone and that I had to do everything on my own and be strong. And, you know, I've cried in the bathtub, and before anyone, you know, could see me. I cried when I was asleep, when I was going to bed. And whew, you said a word. And to that, I've actually written some stuff in the Black Fosse's Handbook, page 114. So we're going to head right over and dive into the book on page 114. So this is actually lesson 7 in chapter, I believe it's chapter 1. Let me see. Chapter 2, lesson 7, page 114. You do not have to do it alone. I need to be strong and independent. Sound familiar? This is a lie. The truth is no one truly successful ever made it on their own. In fact, humans are not wired to be doing this alone. You will find this to be true in each autobiography and story of people who made it big. Oprah Winfrey, Nat Turner, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and even Malcolm X. By the way, don't believe everything you read in school systems about people of color. Many times, I've found information to simply not be true, or to be a stretch of the truth, which is what? A lie. They are stories told in the perspective of those doing the oppressing of people of color. You know, his story, better known as history. On the perspective of my indigenous ancestors, Christopher Columbus did not discover the land they were already living on, nor did the Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez help my indigenous Aztec ancestors by colonizing their land and massacring millions of families and forcing them to learn and adopt Spanish as their own, relinquishing the culture and sacredness of our native tongue. Europeans did not save my African ancestors from living a primitive life, and most certainly did not afford them any opportunity by stripping away our tribal identity, names, native tongue, and other basic rights, including common human decency. Guard your mind as you move about in this world, family. Be sure to educate yourself and analyze the resources of your information to be sure you are not perpetuating fallacies that will continue to feed generational colonization. Again, you do not need to do any of this alone. You do not have to be strong all by yourself and independent. If anything, interdependence is truly adulting. It's operating in a sense of self-efficacy and self-sufficiency without the subconscious idea that you can't trust anyone or everyone is out to get you. In fact, this is the way we used to be. We as a people used to be in big communities that would care about one another. We fed and protected one another. I learned not to adopt the westernized modern idea to do everything alone and the hard way. I'm hoping that with these words, if you find yourself in this trap, that you will stop and reevaluate your next steps and begin to brainstorm what you need to do next. And of course, there's a whole other part to it. But that's my question to you. Have you ever felt alone? Do you believe that you don't need anyone? What is the importance of having healthy-minded people in your circle? Those are questions that I want to leave you with. And if you feel compelled to, please share those answers in the comments. Have you ever felt alone? Have you ever, cried yourself to sleep? Cried in the shower so no one could hear you or see you? I know I have. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Black Foster Youth Handbook launch party. Hit the share button to be entered into this Friday's raffle. That is October 2nd, 2020. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Hit those hearts, the loves, the care, and we're going to move forward.
What if the only way to move forward is to first take a look back? Foster care has always been a conflicted area, a constant battle between the well-being of young people and bank balance. Angela outlines these two narratives with an explorative yet emotional approach. Angela believes that the best way forward for foster children in the system is through a happy, healthy, and holistic path. She opens a window into her world with heartfelt honesty and integrity, whilst also maintaining an empirical basis by including official data and statistics. This intention of this book is not to only reflect the system, but the reader too, in a series of mirroring moments. Each chapter encourages the reader to trust in the direction they have been set upon with a series of informative anecdotes and supporting evidence. This book is deeply informative with a balance of shocking statistics and personal accounts. Advocating healing of indoctrinated narratives and focusing on the turning point, Angela is a beacon of hope for the establishment and beyond. Although regarding a difficult situation with an evaluative and encompassing approach, the overtones of Angela writing is one that, with the utmost respect, distinguishes elements of progression and hope for the future. It looks back at history with love and adoration, taking on board the lessons that will stand with us today and make communities stronger. The Black Foster Youth Handbook available on Amazon and our official website. Order now.
Amal says, I loved reading this book because she is writing out of purely genuine difficulty to teach us about our soulful liberation. Her points are very useful and practical for all foster youths and former foster youth to implement in their lives. The questions are riveting and thought-provoking to help us improve in our life. Thank you, Amal. So much love. and healing to you. Crystal says, the Black Foster Youth Handbook is so great and so needed. I love the information given and the questions to reflect on throughout the book. It made me take some time to reflect on my own experience, of course, and also made me think about what I can and should be thinking about as a foster youth advocate. I also love the language and how engaging and accessible it is. Go Angela for being brave, wonderful, and sharing your journey so others can dive into their own. And thank you, Crystal, for going on the journey with me. And I'm glad that it is reflective in ways that makes you think about your advocacy and how you can show up and support young people in foster care even better than you already do. So thank you. Jennifer McClafferty says, the Black Foster Youth Handbook is the most amazing book I have ever read. It's truly for everyone. Through the personal development journey that Angela takes you on, she speaks to the heart of foster youth, specifically Black foster youth, to navigate through the entire process of surviving foster care. I met Angela 2 years ago and knew instantly she was one of the brightest human beings I've ever met. I would love to see this incredible message get out into the world and help our foster youth heal so they can also thrive as Angela has done so well. Jennifer, you already know how much our friendship means to me. And thank you so much for being on this journey with me and supporting me and sharing everything out. And I'm looking forward to you finishing the book and hearing your thoughts. And now we will hear from an incredible melanated woman and my sister in the struggle, in the healing, and advocacy, and just overall my soul sister, Tamisha Macklin. Take it away, Tamisha.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tamisha Macklin from Denver, Colorado. I am a foster youth alumni. I spent 12 years in the Colorado State foster care system, and I aged out at 19 years old. I have had the honor and the privilege to be able to read some of the Black Foster Youth Handbook before the launch date, and I just want to say this is an absolutely amazing tool and resource. I can say going through it, I put myself back as if I was still in the foster care system, and I actually ended up in residential and being in those treatment-based settings and having to go through a lot of healing. I can definitely say that this would have been a amazing tool for me to have when I was in those places. It touches on a lot of issues around healthy relationships, building positive, supportive connections, and many other lessons within the book. So this is a must read, and we have to get it in the hands of our youth. Today, I just wanted to share a poem that I wrote. I started writing when I was in the system as well, and I really appreciated how there was a lot of spoken word poetry incorporated throughout the reading. Writing is a huge coping skill for me. So this poem that I'm going to read is a poem that parts of it I wrote when I was still in the system. And then when I aged out, I co-founded a nonprofit called Elevating Connections. And I got to be a part of creating a program where it's called Empowering Youth Expressions. And so I got to be a part of facilitating writing workshops for youth and doing a lot of writing myself. And so this is one of the pieces that I performed at one of our poetry jam events that we do. And it's called Complex Trauma. And here we go. Overwhelmed by the never-ending toxic stress throughout my life. From the start, my understanding of family and love was distorted. I grew up looking for love and belonging, but received abuse, neglect, and instability. My innocence was lost. I grew up way too fast. It was hard to escape a troublesome past. left with feeling of being a burden. I was unwanted. In the past, I was curious about playing the game of life so fast and so furious. But when things got serious, when the money was right, time paused without a cause and the handcuffs were tight. I was living in the dark and God turned on the light. I was stuck in a place without a sound and there was no one around. They called me a juvenile delinquent. They said that there was no hope for someone like me. But little did they know I would rise above. I would overcome, that I would learn from my mistakes, that I would heal from my pain and heartaches. As time goes on, it starts to get easier. You start to build a tolerance. No one will ever understand the complexity of my trauma. This thing called life is a never-ending drama. I carry on a persona that everything's okay and nothing can ever faze me because the things that I have been through never ceases to amaze me. Feeling the economic stress of oppression, living in a nation where gentrification is accepted, homelessness is criminalized, when all they really want to do is survive and the right to rest. I learned from the start that I am living in a cold world and expect nothing less. I feel like even through the darkness, I am able to find the light, to see between the lines of what's wrong and right, to not let my voice be silent. I will fight professionally with my words. I will forgive to be free and to move forward. Here I am now as I stand before you. I am not the person that I used to be. They labeled me as a troubled youth. They labeled me as someone that was broken and abused. You know what? That may have been the case, but my past will not define who I am today because I will rise above anything that the people have to say. I will not listen to negativity, but instead I will only hear nothing but positivity. I will rise above because I know that I can do better, and I know that I deserve better, and I know that I am better than the person that I used to be. Thank you all. Have a blessed, beautiful day, and thank you, Angela, for having me here today. And good luck with your book launch. I'm so excited. Woo! See you at the launch party. Peace.
My past will not determine who I am today. Tamisha. Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. We have the power within us to step into our next versions of ourselves. Are we going to keep on holding ourselves back because of the pain, because of the trauma? Or do we dare to dream big? Do we dare to think big? Before we head off into a break, I just want to take a moment to thank a few people, including Tamisha. Tamisha, you have been an incredible part of my support system throughout this journey. And I just want to say that I see you and have so much love for you. And I thank you for being behind me on every single endeavor and moment of this book. And always being willing to read and hear me out and, give your feedback. And I appreciate it so much. I want to shout out to Portia H. You know who you are. So much love to you, big sis. She really helped me craft my introduction, and it really pushed me to clean it up some more, and it challenged me to get very focused in what is it that I'm trying to say with all these different pieces and the pain and because like I said, there was a lot of pain in writing in this, and she was the first person to really see the raw parts of it. And she just told me you're going to have to get very clear on what your message is. And she said it to me in so many different ways over time. I think it finally clicked to where it was like, yes. So Portia Harger, big sis, I just want to honor you and just tell you thank you and I appreciate you. It actually, over time, made me think about all of the structure within my book and how clearer I could be. And it most certainly influenced what my book is today. Shout out to my big sis, Dr. Regina Gavin Williams. She is incredible, and she has been doing some work in the foster care community as well. I just want to shout her out and give her flowers today, as well as Katie P. Katie, you know who you are. My Aunt Liza, for answering my calls when I was going through some very troubling and frustrating times. For being my Aunt Liza and being incredible. And, we've gone through our things in life, and I'm just so grateful to have you alongside me in this journey. And you're always finding ways to support and to show love. And I'm just very grateful for you and Aunt Jean, Uncle Bert. I want to shout out my Aunt Cheryl, my little sister, L'Oreal Bunn. She was also very instrumental in the beginning stages of the book. Tony Cantini, my sis, Tony Cantini, if you're watching here, definitely drop down in the comments, some hearts. I love you and I miss you. Everyone that I've mentioned so far. I also want to shout out my editor, Tashia Harding, who really sifted through my manuscript the first time where it was really raw and in a rough draft. And just her edits and the things that she said also helped me to reformat and redevelop what I wanted to say more clearly. And so her information is Tashia, Teshia Harding, Harding, 04 at gmail.com. And I think she's an incredible editor. For anyone that is interested in working and looking for an editor, definitely recommend her. I also want to thank my soul fam, Zay, Eric, Niece, Louie, and Emilio, Christina, and Dino. Love you all so much. Definitely have been super loving and supportive as well throughout this pandemic. And everyone who shared my link, everyone who shared my posts, everyone who donated, everyone who pre-ordered, everyone who sent me an encouraging message, Double E, Ashley Double E, yes, just so many people, and you know who you are, and I just appreciate you. And yeah, the last person that I want to thank I will do later, and you'll see why, but just wanted to say I appreciate you all, and those of you that are tuning in and watching right now, thank you so much for being a part of my journey, and thank you for being a part of this book launch party. I hope you're enjoying yourself, and we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to keep it going because we got about an hour left, and we got all the energy, okay, all the energy, period. Hey, welcome to my book launch party. Welcome to my book launch party. All right, so I'm going to see you guys in a few. Peace. If you are just joining us, then welcome to the Black Foster Youth Handbook launch party. Make sure to hit the share button to be entered into this Friday's raffle. That's October 2nd, 2020. And all you got to do is hit that share button. All right, now let's get back to the party. Hey, so I had to do a quick, wardrobe change, put a little eyeshadow on, and I'm here. What you think? Okay. Put down in the comments. All right, I hope you're sharing if you want to be entered into this Friday's raffle. Okay, I don't play about those raffles. For those of you that were in the raffle back in July, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so as you know, I'm gonna read some more from them. I'm gonna give you a little up close and personal. Ooh, look at those, that's sparkly. Yes. Oh, it keeps on. Ooh, that shine. Okay, all right. So I'm on page 106 and I'm going to do a poem for you. And this poem is called I Am. And this was an affirmation kind of poem for me. Actually, I was creating the website that I have now, www.originalsoulflower, original, and then soul as in like your spirit, flower.com. In the beginning stages, I started like writing out, and I asked myself, and I was asking people that view the website, who is she, right? And then this poem, as I'm going through, just came out of nowhere. And I am so grateful for it because I think it's going to be very empowering for a lot of young people that get a chance to read this book. And without further ado, I Am by me, Angela Kiara Banks. I am a sister. I am a friend. I am a wife who loves all she touches with no end. I am a woman of color who has the blood of the world etched in her mind, coupled by the fire her ancestors endowed within her soul. I am a granddaughter. I am a niece. I am the epitome of contradiction from what everyone believed my future would be. Engulfed by the energy of the world and hopes of peace, but still in the full vision of the ultimate reality that one must always be cautious. One must always know that which you don't know. I am a frequency. I am a warrior. I am the next legacy. I am a live masterpiece, all by myself in all of my imperfection. I am a powerful, multidimensional woman of color that is so tired of the mediocrity, stagnation, and infiltration of our subconscious minds, and is deciding daily to answer the calling on my life. No longer will I remain silent, turn a blind eye, or close my ears to what I know and witness. It's not an easy journey, but I'd be lying if I said it ever was. Don't keep those ideas just in your head. Write them down, even if you get one while you're relaxing in bed. You may be surprised how far you get pushing play instead of rewind. Because living in the past can root you in stagnation, unless, of course, you're saying kudos to your past self and sipping a libation on the path to soulful liberation. Instead, look to the future and begin each thing you do with the end in mind. Because if you search for the greatness inside of you long enough, you might be surprised at what you find. And with that, you've been hearing from me. And now let's hear what some other folks have to say. Melissa, take it away.
Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. My name's Melissa Gutierrez, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Black Foster Youth Handbook, my experience reading the book, and why I think this is an amazing book that every young person aging out of foster care should have their hands on. So just a little bit about me. I actually grew up in and out of the foster care system in San Diego County. So I wound up going into the system a couple different times, and my most recent time going back in, I came back into the system at the age of 14, and I actually stayed in all the way until I aged out or turned 18. So, you know, coming out of the foster care world and out of the foster care system, you're really scared. Like for me personally, I know that it was a really challenging time, easily one of the most challenging times in my life, because I just didn't have that support. I didn't have those connections. I had a lot of self-doubt. I had a lot of insecurities. And I would have really loved to have a book like this because it would have changed the game. It would have given me a blueprint. It would have given me some kind of tips. And most importantly, it would have let me know that I wasn't alone and I wasn't the only person that had this experience and that was struggling to kind of find their way coming out of it. So turning 18 and aging out of foster care. Aging out of foster care was really hard for me. I had a lot of challenges kind of navigating the adult world and didn't really know where to start. And as I went through this book, as I go through the Black Foster Youth Handbook, and as I was reading through the book, some of the things that stood out to me were the sense of hope that is pervasive throughout the book, the sense that you can do this and that there is a future for you. Angela does such a good job of really being like not only a spokesperson, but a cheerleader for every young person that, you know what, yes, you can do this, and here's how I did it. Let me share my tools and techniques to help you get to that next step. So really, really just an incredible tool that I wish I had had when I was going through it, because I know it would have helped me a lot. I know that would have been so huge for my experience, especially when there's not that many people coming out that really can relate. Like I remember having social workers, I remember having case managers and people in my corner that I definitely appreciated, but I didn't know how to connect with them because they didn't come out of the foster care world. You know, they didn't share that experience with me. And so it was really hard to connect with people and find my people and find my tribe and the people that I would connect with for the rest of my life. So I love this book. It is absolutely incredible. If you are a young person yourself, or if you are working with young people, please, I would urge you to read this book and to order it for your youth or for yourself, because it is a game changer. And what I really like about it is that it gives you a blueprint. So the thing about the book is it actually really walks you through step by step kind of where to start, and it starts with healing. And I love that. It starts with you and taking all of your whole self and just really loving yourself. And that message in itself, to love yourself and to be proud of who you are and to know that it's okay to be struggling, is something that I didn't hear when I was in the system. Like I didn't really get to have that, that, hey, it's okay. Like this, it's going to be okay. And having that kind of comfort and safety, you really feel as you're reading the book, you know that this is someone that, hey, has been through it and is in your corner. And it just really motivates you. So going through it and reading through it, I was motivated to get to the next step, to do the tasks in the book. And one other thing that I like about the book a lot as well is that it's very interactive. So it's going to ask you questions. It's going to have small tasks or assignments that are not meant to be like chores, but really are insightful and are engaging, and that help you learn about you a little bit better, and also help you learn about different tools and techniques to be able to really achieve like a holistic sense of wellness. So not just like the practical items of, you know, here's some practical tips on how to navigate the adult world and how to age out and what to think about as you're making that transition, but also here's tips on how to just become a better person overall, how to be a better person, and how to love yourself, which is so huge, because I feel like that's the piece that was missing for me, is that I didn't really know how to love myself coming out of the system that was built to use and to abuse. And so, you know, with that, I just really, really appreciate all of the work that Angela did in this book. This book is incredible, y'all. Like, please Please have a look, have a read, order it. It is absolutely phenomenal. What an incredible tool for young people to have in their tool belt. And like I said, this book is not just for youth of color. This would have been so amazing for me. Like, this would have been a game changer if I had had this coming out of the system, and I know it will be for so many others as well. So please encourage you to read and check it out. Definitely will not regret it. It has so many different tips, tricks, tools, techniques, and you just read it and you just leave with a sense of like, I got this. Like, I can do this. And that's thanks to the handbook. So check it out.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate everything that you've shared from your personal journey of going through the handbook thus far, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts after you finish. Yes, there are tons of questions, exercises, and it's very interactive. I knew that I didn't want a book just that was just about my experience, but more so a book that could really cause some introspection for young people and their supportive adults in their journey, because I believe that's one of the cornerstones to true success and soulful liberation, which is something I talk about in the book. So it is broken up into 4 phases. It's 50 plus lessons broken up into 4 phases. And I've developed this REAL success model, and REAL is an acronym, REAL. R is for root, E is for envision, A is for ascension, and L is for liberation. And I will be going into that at another time, but just so you all do know about this is going to be some work. If you really want to achieve success, if you really want to begin to heal and get some traction in your life and step into your purpose, I believe that if you come from trauma, it is going to be some work. So we can open it up a little bit and see what that kind of looks like if you just saw that there. So you can actually write in there. There's some questions. There's chapter exercises as well. Let's see if we can find one. Let me see if I can find one really quick to show. Yeah, this is a chapter exercise. Sketch your mess. And so there is a lot in here, and that's why it's so thick. And I just have been very intentional on helping young people really achieve holistic wellness, and also recognizing that you can't do it alone. So thank you again, Melissa, for what you shared. We're going to take a look at what some others that had the chance to read it before launch day are saying as well. Faith says, the Black Foster Youth Handbook is a perfect mix of lived experience, poetry, and history, with also making it a workbook style. I've taken part in programs that are workbook style for foster youth, but what those were lacking, which this book brings to the table, is personal anecdotes. The author took her story and broke it down into, this is the lesson I learned, and this is how I applied it to my future. I didn't even know how to have a healthy relationship with myself, is my favorite line from the whole book, because I think it embodies the experience most foster youth have. When you aren't shown what a healthy relationship is at home, you rely on it from those you're placed with. But most of the time, those people are also unhealthy, just in less visible ways than your own parents. I absolutely agree with you, Faith. I think that part was difficult for me to write as well, because knowing that I'm speaking to supportive adults and also recognizing my own experience, making sure that, all of us, every single part of our own journeys, whether we are a supportive adult or a young person, that we are taking accountability as well as taking time to reflect on how we can best support young people and ourselves. So I just want to say thank you so much for reading so far, and I really am looking forward to hearing how the book has impacted you once you reach the end. Wajiha says, the Black Foster Youth Handbook is a book that truly is for everyone. Not only is it a guide to help Black and Brown children who are in the foster system survive, but it is very informative and it truly makes you realize just how much we've all been overlooking. The author Angela breaks down the demographics of the foster care system and adds her own personal experiences and how she has overcame obstacles within the system. I recommend that everyone reads this book because even if it can't directly guide you, it can educate you. Thank you, Wajiha, and I'm just really excited that you decided to be on this journey with me and how supportive that you've been. And I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts once you reach the end of the book. So we will be taking a break, and after the break, we'll be wrapping up. And you know what? I want to hear from you. If you have been enjoying this launch party, please drop in the comments #FosteringSuccess or #Black Foster Youth Handbook. I am so excited about this launch. This has been a labor of love, hard work, pain, purpose, and soulful liberation, of course. And I cannot wait until it gets in the hands of as many young people as possible. My first goal is to have this book reach 10 organizations per state by October 7th. So that will be next week, but that is in total 500 organizations. And that is my first milestone to getting the word out and making sure that young people are no longer in a situation where they don't know what is ahead after they turn 18. They don't even know what's going on when they're in, the system, because it's just been trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma. I literally used to call my life the series of unfortunate events, because it was a series of unfortunate events, from homelessness to even deeper struggles, abuse, neglect, then foster care, and after foster care, homelessness again. Like, it was just so much, and you'll be able to read a little bit more about my personal story in this book. But we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, have a special guest, and we're gonna wrap it up. So again, if you are loving this, share, put in the comments #FosteringSuccess, #Black Foster Youth Handbook, and let's go.
What if the only way to move forward is to first take a look back? Foster care has always been a conflicted area, a constant battle between the well-being of young people and bank balance. Angela outlines these two narratives with an explorative yet emotional approach. Angela believes that the best way forward for foster children in the system is through a happy, healthy, and holistic path. She opens a window into her world with heartfelt honesty and integrity, whilst also maintaining an empirical basis by including official data and statistics. This intention of this book is not to only reflect the system, but the reader too, in a series of mirroring moments. Each chapter encourages the reader to trust in the direction they have been set upon with a series of informative anecdotes and supporting evidence. This book is deeply informative with a balance of shocking statistics and personal accounts. Advocating healing of indoctrinated narratives and focusing on the turning point, Angela is a beacon of hope for the establishment and beyond. Although regarding a difficult situation with an evaluative and encompassing approach, the overtones of Angela writing is one that, with the utmost respect, distinguishes elements of progression and hope for the future. It looks back at history with love and adoration, taking on board the lessons that will stand with us today and make communities stronger. The Black Foster Youth Handbook available on Amazon and our official website. Order now.
To all the young people that are watching, you are not alone. And there are so many people out here that are advocating for you and for the system to become better, for the support of adults. Maybe you're looking to foster, maybe you're looking to adopt. Thank you for wanting to, first of all, and going on that journey of the unknown. I appreciate you, and many of us do as well, that come from the foster care community. And so this book is also to support you on your journey as a supportive adult, to kind of look on the other side of the perspective, and just do what you've been doing. And maybe it can help you, when you get into a tough spot of what you're doing, or someone that it'll help. I've gone through a lot of pushback with this book for many reasons, including the title. And yet, I made the decision that I was going to create a guide, a handbook for young people. And through literal blood, literal sweat, and literal tears, I'm here. And with that, I want to introduce my brother in the struggle. We met also on the National Policy Council, as well as with Melissa Gutierrez and Tamisha Macklin. So I want to go ahead and hand it over to my brother, Victor Sims, all the way over there in Florida. And I hope you enjoy what he has to share. Take it away, Victor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victor Sims. I'm from the great state of Florida. I had the opportunity to read the Black Foster Youth Handbook by Angela Quieta Banks. What really touches me right now is this is a time where these conversations needs to be happening. We are facing some of the hardest times in America. An America in which inequity is more apparent. Inequality is more visual. And the pursuit of happiness sometimes seems out of reach. But Angela Quieta Banks' book, The Black Foster Youth Handbook, takes you through a system of care in which Black children are actually disproportionately a part of. It kind of concerns me. But going through her recounts of what the foster care system was for her, and being able to put myself in those shoes and answer those questions with the handbook, has opened up my eyes to see a system of care that could use some improvement. A system of care that could be a lot better. But Angela Kieta Banks doesn't focus on just the negative in the foster care system, but she outlines the strength that is given to Black foster youth all across this country. And this handbook will be a tool for Black children, Black teenagers, and even our partners and our allies to understand how we can be better and how we can find ways to, in a sense, rise up. Because of that, I have decided to sing a song today that truly touches my heart. It's called Rise Up by Andrea Day, because Angela Kieta Banks, she's been able to rise up. Even in writing this book, she's been told no. She's been told this may not be the best idea. She's been told we can't do it. But one thing that Angela Kieta Banks has been able to show and be able to display to Black boys and girls, Black teenagers, and even Black adults, that if you put your mind to it, you can actually do it. Angela Kieta Banks is a dear friend of mine. But most importantly, she's an ally to America's Black children. And because of that, I tell you to buy her book. Buy your book for yourself, buy your book for a friend, and buy her book for a child experiencing the system of foster care. I'm going to sing on Rise Up by Andrea Day. Been walking down, tired of living life on a merry-go-round. You can find the fighter, but it's seen you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the end, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. When the silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you all for supporting Angela Kieta Banks, and thank you all for supporting all the foster youth who experience the foster care system, even though it may be disproportionately. I thank you all for supporting her, and I hope you all get a chance to read this book. I hope you get a chance to complete the book, and I hope you get a chance to critically think about the things that foster youth are experiencing in the system of care. I thank you all.
As always, Victor, literal cheers. Chills, can't even talk. Literal chills. Whew, got me all the way messed up because that singing is just on point. And I can't wait for you all to hear him in person one day. But alas, we are coming to a close. Make sure you get your copy of the Black Boss Youth Handbook, 50 plus lessons I learned to successfully age out of foster care and holistically heal. It has been a pleasure, it has been an honor, and I'm excited for this next phase in my life as well as yours, if you'll come on the journey with me. The next phase of ascension, of re-envisioning, of purpose, and of course, soulful liberation, which includes decolonizing your lineage. So I hope you'll take this walk with me, maybe this run, this flight, and until next time, continue to be here, continue to show up, and challenge yourself to be better than you were yesterday. And with that, I'd like to close with a poem in this next clip.
Still Here by me, Angela Quijada Banks. Let us never forget our roots, nor who we have become. Our origin is of stardust, and revolution is our legacy. United through bloodlines of royalty, I must profess, for our people will always rise, seeking progress. Nothing can hush our pride or slow the stamina of our stride. Our heritage flows with gold and honey from lands of wealth and jewels and money. Oh, how we have endured the trials of our past, yet when all else has diminished, this resilience will last. For it is written in the cosmos, eons beyond us, that we are divine and without fear, and above all, we are still here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to my launch party, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you, hearing your thoughts in your journey reading, and I'm just so excited. I'm so happy, and I'm so happy, and I'm so excited for everyone to get their hands on a copy and read. And until next time, be your best self, continue to challenge yourself, and don't be so hard on yourself. Just relax sometimes, and so many words, so little time. But this is not the last time you're going to see me. I'll be showing up a little bit more for launch week and beyond. Thank you. Make sure you share this out. And much love, much healing to you and your lineage, your family, your community. And let's grow together. Let's continue to build together legacies, not just hustle. Which, fun fact, I will be doing a talk with the Fostering Change Network called Are You Building a Legacy or Just Hustling? Are you building a legacy or are you just hustling? Okay, that's the real language of it all. And we'll find out by the end of that talk. Got to get a little close and personal, okay? So are you just hustling? Or are you actually building a legacy? Let's get real. Okay, so if you don't want to miss that, then definitely keep a lookout. That will be coming up very, very soon. And until next time, peace and love and an abundance of joy and healing. And talk to you soon.